Minister, on the voice, just a couple of quick ones. Do you agree with Linda Burney that do you agree with Linda Burney that Peter Dutton is just looking for excuses to reject the voice? And secondly, will you release the Solicitor General's advice on the wording?
Well, the two things are connected because Peter Dutton knows that he sat in a cabinet for 9 years and didn't release any advice to the cabinet. It's not the way it works, and he knows that. He knows that. So what we saw from Peter Dutton over a long period of time was first in the lead up to my speech at Garma, he said, we don't know what the question is. So I released draft words. We received not a suggestion in between July last year and yesterday when I released what will be in the legislation to go to Parliament next week. Not one suggestion from him or Julian Leeser, the Shadow Attorney General, of any change. Not a word. And Julian Leeser, we know, has been involved with the wording since a decade ago. A decade ago. He was one of the people who were involved in that process, as Noel Pearson outlined in The Australian some weeks ago. So Peter Dutton needs to get real about this. This isn't about him and it's not about me. This is about whether we are a better country going forward. It's whether we can recognise Indigenous Australians in our nation's birth certificate. And then it's only about one other thing, which is, will we get better outcomes if we consult the people who are impacted by those decisions? That's what this is about. It's a simple proposition before the Australian people, and I'm confident that the Australian people will vote yes. Will vote yes. And the idea, whenever any detail is given, and yesterday we released 8 of the principles that will go towards the legislation in shaping the voice. And the voice can't be clearer. The words that will go forward include the third point: the Parliament shall, subject to this Constitution, have power to make laws with respect to matters relating to the, which is a legal term, relating to the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander voice, including its composition, functions, powers and procedures. Peter Dutton will be a part of the Parliament, and future members will be a part of future parliaments that will determine the function of the voice, and he knows that that's the case. And we know from the Republic playbook that occurred last century that it is nothing more than a tactic, and it lacks genuineness to just continue to say, oh, we don't have the detail. No matter how much detail is put out, Peter Dutton will say, oh, what about more detail? That's the game that's being played here, and he should make a decision of where he stands on this issue, because this is an issue that isn't the creation of a Labor government. This has arisen from the bottom up. And yesterday I had Ken White, who flew overnight to Canberra, the Indigenous Affairs Minister in the Morrison government, to stand next to me and with his fellow Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who've been a part of the referendum working group, who've come to a unanimous position. And I'd say that this should be above politics, as the 1967 referendum was.